episode of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by our generous patrons. Special thanks to our Supreme and Master Speakers Omeji Cat Comet, Arisu Yamakawa, Circa Barrakiel, Remy Asalia, Arcadia Lunashine, Alex Franco AV, Winebow Brood, Psyche, Asuta Starbreeze, Cletus Oreo, Nina Grimstarter, Nat Clay, Lily Black, Bob CC, Mikta Rabentau, Sapa Chakwatol, Edwin, Umbral Wind, Quicklevin, Pamela Isley, Camille Grino, Elenriel Maximus, Codrith Novelist, Mira Miri, Babe Arbale, Suno Chicano, Celestau Noitrell, Lazy Boy, A Bag of Dragonite, Luke Osborne, Pandaloo Stormarrow, Tex, Yowie Wowie, Kai Lin, AJ Brainswordson, Anathus Moonscar, Arthur Law, Biridan Derard, Cypup, Spencer Christmas, and Noy Fafnir. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/speakersxiv. Thank you.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, Eorzeans. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon, episode 290. Oh my god, we're 10 away from 300. I'm Lakeel Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Georgi Wiston, Mela Vanadar, and Rollo Des. Hello.
Don't stop. Ignore this knife I'm putting in away.
Okay, yeah.
I was going to say, don't hold that up during a stream.
Whatever. Look, I made a little gnome.
Rollo's up,
Little gnome.
Rollo's up here like whittling. All right.
Mela,
Welcome.
he's already older than us.
Yeah, that's true.
What are you on about? All right. All right. Welcome. This is episode 290. It is March 12th, 2022. Today's main topic. It's an interview with Gamesradar with Yoshi-P. Is Ishikawa in it as well? Might be Ishikawa. Yes, Ishikawa is in it as well. About the twists and turns of Endwalker. We'll also talk about some of the upcoming events, among them Little Ladies Day, and we'll be reading your MogMail, speakersxiv.com/MogMail. Now, we are starting later than usual, but I think we can cram in a tiny post-show at the end. So in that, we will answer what little we have of questions from the Syndicate. All right, that's it for... I almost finished the show. That's it for the show. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let's jump into recent events. All right, and in recent events, we have kind of breaking. Endwalker has won Best Online Game in the Famitsu Dengeki Game Awards 2021. Congratulations! Another award. They just keep coming. We're suffering from success here. We don't know. We don't have more space to where do we put all these awards?
I believe Yoshi-P was also up for Most Valuable Creator, but he lost to Masahiro Sakurai.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I see.
Valuable, that's a funny measurement.
Yeah. Most valuable creator. That's kind of...
I can't remember the exact
Society.
description. It was something like that, though. It was like something like a little bit absurd.
Okay, I see.
He's done with Smash, though. He hasn't done anything with it all of last year, right?
True.
Yeah, but I don't
He's
think
valuable, Rollo.
He's just worth
I don't
a
think
lot.
Most Valuable Creator is a very... I don't think they do that every year, Rollo.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Sakurai.
Thank you very much. All right, moving on in we keep getting new CGI renders. Estinien is up now. So there's a new CGI render on the official Twitter.
Oh, you didn't show his dainty little feet.
I didn't show his dainty little feet. I had to make a choice. Do I show the top half or the bottom half? It'd be weird if I just showed off his feet. but yeah, there it is. It's Estinien and Vritra or
Vritra, is it?
Depends on who you ask in the game.
Vritra is a cool...
Yeah, go on.
Vritra is a cool dragon, but God, he's probably the ugliest of Midgardsorm's children.
Oh, he's got so many teeth.
He's got some teeth problems.
Most of them.
Yeah.
I don't like the weird, giant ones that are like tusks that come out of his mouth.
True. True.
What's the
Oh,
evolutional
great.
like advantage to this? Like, I need to know. Like, why do you develop like this?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand the function of it. Like, it's
Hey.
odd.
If he looked like this, I can understand why he hid himself away from his.
Wow.
True. Okay, well there you go. That's on the official Twitter. Yeah.
I have to say, following this pattern, I'm expecting Graha next week. We're getting artwork of every like Scion that doesn't have official artwork yet.
Oh, is it gonna be like the weird thin neck Graha though from the CGI trailer?
Probably.
Oh god.
Oh, I don't like looking at that Graha.
God. Yeah, that Graha scares me. Okay.
Put him back.
Okay, so that's happened. What's about to happen is a new Moogle Treasure Trove event starting on Monday, this coming Monday, March 14th, until the launch of patch 6.1.
It'll already have started if you're watching this on demand.
If you're watching this on demand, you are hopefully already doing this. So the new item, there is one new item, I think, as usual. No, it's not. It is just the Mamasheba earring.
This is the worst one they've done.
No, I don't think there's any.
We have started to recycle already on the Moogle Treasure Trove stuff. So if you missed the Mamasheba earring, you can get that now. I don't know if there's anything worth talking about in terms of what you can get.
Suzaku's Kamui.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was last time, but you can get that.
Yeah.
I did have a dream actually that the Nightmare Pegasus was.
That
would be nice.
This is kind of crazy, huh? They actually put the fucking Nightmare Pegasus for like 5 Moogle tombstones.
Oh my god, for 5!
Yeah,
just giving it away.
Like, maybe this is a dream.
Well, important. Yeah, go on, Georgi.
Well, they're giving away the Controlled Chaos hairstyle, which is available for like Skybuilder scripts, so I don't think it's that pressing. I don't think I would spend tomes on that.
No,
it's only 1800 Skybuilder scripts too, I think. So.
Yeah,
and how easy is it to get Skybuilder scripts now?
Right.
It just do one of the defeats.
Yeah.
Whenever they come up, which no one is tracking apparently. There's no tracker for them, so that's
every 2 hours.
I think it's in game.
Yeah.
Well, it is in game.
It's every 2 hours. It's every 2 hours, like every 2 days.
Yeah.
There's a selection of the Allagan PvP gear, but weirdly, it's not every set.
No,
it's mainly striking and scouting. But
yeah.
Well,
grinding wolf marks is boring. So
yeah, that's true.
That's the one that was designed, Mela.
Yeah.
But
they only ever have the one that was designed.
Mm-hmm.
But that's cool if you want them.
Yeah,
they're only 15 each.
Yeah. Importantly, of course, it'll be the last probably Moogle Treasure Trove where the Praetorium, in its current state, will give you 10 irregular tombstones for the Moogle event. So a nice way to like say goodbye to the Praetorium runs.
We're doing it. It's scripture this time, by the way.
Yes, it is scripture.
Poor Meridianum erasure.
Yeah, Meridianum is 7 tomes here, but it is sidelined with Dunscaith as well. So it's got this Dunscaith and Castra Meridianum, 7 irregular tombstones of scripture.
The funniest part of this, so Dunscaith is 7, Mark is 5.
Yeah.
Voidark's 3. You have to scroll all the way down for Voidark, even though it's the same series.
Yes. PvP as well. Not the one that goes away though. So these are the
it's the 4 frontline ones
Yeah.
and Hidden Gorge.
Yes.
For Rival Wings.
Yeah. Do we know? Have we had any like? When this last happened, was Rival Wings part of that, and did that increase?
Yes. Yeah,
was it actually possible to play then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Slightly more. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
This is like one of the most playable times for Rival Wings.
Yeah.
during
Okay.
For queuing outside of doing Revival Wings.
Well, let's do some Rival Wings. It's genuine. Now that I get it, it's fun.
I like
Rival Wings.
Yeah.
The front lines.
Yeah, go on.
Of all dungeons, why is Copperbell Mines hard in this list?
Wait, is it?
Well,
man,
let's not forget your Copper
For
Mines
4
still
tomes.
above Voidark here.
Yeah. Copperbell Mines Hard, Pharaoh Sirius, the Keeper of the Lake, and the Aurum Vale for 4 irregular tomestones of scripture.
I get Aurum Vale and I get Zamail, which is for 3. Copperbell Mines Hard is so optional. Are they really needing to like convince people to do it?
Yeah,
I guess. If I was to think of like any of the optional dungeons, like which one would be the least popular, I feel like Copperbell Mines would be pretty high up on that list.
Yeah,
but it's in a roulette, so you're gonna get it randomly anyway.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I feel like they just pick random ones for these lower ones. Like
yeah.
They've picked, I don't know.
It might be that simple
as well. Why that one?
Yeah, they might just be like, maybe they just random like pull like, I don't know. They have some sort of system where they just pull random names out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. That starts on Monday, March 14th at 1 a.m. PDT, and will last until the launch of patch 6.1. So there you go. Perfect time to level stuff.
You don't need to worry too much about this event. This is like a breather event.
Yeah.
If you've done the other
ones. But what I like about this event is that you sort of you kill 2 birds with 1 stone, because if you want to level something, this is perfect, because now you actually get 2 rewards for it: EXP and tomes.
Yeah.
Oh, the delicious tome! This is the nice tomes. This is what was it? Heaven's Word launch tomes, right?
Scripture, yeah.
Not launch.
Late Heaven's Word.
Yeah, it's late
Heaven's Word.
Oh yeah, it might be end.
I thought it was mid Heaven's Word.
I just missed those little green tomes. They look so yummy.
Yeah,
They do look good.
Yeah. Let me just check quickly where they came in 3.4. 3.4.
Oh,
so they are late. So they would have been added. They were the last ones added then.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to another event that's coming up, Little Ladies Day.
Also starts at 1 a.m. March 14th.
Yeah, so there's 2 events going off at the same time. This one will not last until launch. This ends on March 31st.
Yes.
It's a little bit 2 weeks. What a strange length of time.
It is an unusual time, but I feel like you'll probably need about 15 to 20 minutes to fully complete this this event.
Yeah,
it doesn't look that in depth.
It does. Well, it's hard to tell with these because I don't think we don't get the pitch anymore, so we wouldn't know.
Hey,
yeah,
we got a very small little sentence and a half.
Yeah, as we usually do.
Maribel. Yeah, Maribel is seeking an experienced adventurer to aid her entry for this year's Little Ladies Day walk-off. As you happen to pass by,
year's?
Don't question that. As you happen to pass by, she looks you up and down, a glint in her eye.
There you go.
Are you gonna wear the crown?
Yeah. Well, the reward.
That's your new mentor crown.
This is the reward. A little crown.
It looks like they photoshopped it on the Viera.
It does. Yeah.
This is one of the worst rewards.
Do you think?
This is it as well.
Yeah.
And it's not even dyeable.
No,
it's not even dyeable.
No.
But it's very bad reward.
I have a feeling this is sort of the future of like hat rewards, because this is the only way you can make it fit perfectly on a Viera and a Roth card.
That's true.
Not just rewards. This is helmets going forward.
Yeah. Just gonna be tiny little. I hope so.
Like the Elmo helmet, like just the completely round one, just slightly off center on top of your hair.
Yeah.
I have to clarify. I do like this. I just think that overall, this being the only reward is really shitty.
Oh yeah, if it had like an orchestrion role or a minion or something additional, I wouldn't.
Why didn't they include a mobile?
Why isn't there more outfit?
Where's my cake?
Why isn't it dyeable? There's so many things they could have added.
Yeah.
It's a little disappointing.
It is. But hey, yeah. I'm pretty sure we don't have a.
It might become cool. Like sometimes it sounds like it's going to be a rubbish story, and then it gets really weird and dark and cool. So, reserve judgment.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a slide for this next one. I just realized, but we'll also quickly mention that Square Enix has created a new YouTube channel where they've put pretty much, well, not all of their music, but a lot of their Final Fantasy music.
More than you'd expect them to.
Yeah,
I mean, it's got like all the Nier games. It's got like Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
The Mana series games and stuff. It's got loads of old And it's the full soundtracks.
It is. It's. I wish I had the address just available, but I don't. Yeah, it's good because
They might not be big enough for a unique
Here's
URL.
the address for people that want it.
yeah, it's in the description.
It's not a
of
unique
the
address.
video.
They're too small. It's only
Yeah.
Square Enix. So.
Yeah, it's only Square
Oh
Enix.
yeah, Square Enix music.
Yeah, and
their
that's
weird
good
logo.
because that gives you a place to go to just listen to the music. Because there's been a company, I'm not going to mention the name of it, that's hitting people very hard that have uploaded music that is difficult to find elsewhere.
Exactly.
So maybe
And here's the real ringer with that is you can buy all of Square Enix's music if you wanted to. You can't buy any of that company's.
right.
Yeah.
That is untrue. You can buy some.
Some, but
Very
not,
few, though,
but
and
not.
not to the degree
That
you'd
company
expect.
has a pretty
Shoot.
extensive library of music that is not.
I agree.
They have some like, obscure game tracks on here. Actually, they have Sino Alice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing
Yeah.
that, Alice, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha game that's not good at all.
No.
But that's
But
very
it
good
might have a good
music.
soundtrack.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it
they
does.
even have official like lo-fi remixes and EDM remixes of stuff. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
Like they've gone all out, and I'm all about that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You should still expect a delay for when the official releases will be uploaded to this
100%.
channel.
Oh
though.
yeah. Yeah.
You will not get the 5.5 and the Endwalker soundtracks on here, at least for another year or so.
No.
No.
But
Well,
hey,
you've
it's
got,
good that
like-
they actually. I wonder if they saw what the other company was doing, and they're like, maybe we should
Yeah.
do something.
It only has
not
one
saying-
full song.
Yeah.
Why are we not saying the other
It's
company is
Nintendo.
saying
I just think it's funny to make it sound like it's this
funny.
ominous, scary company.
If you don't say their name, it discredits them.
Yeah. Anyways, we don't know why they made it, but it's good that they have. There you go. There's a a Final Fantasy, a Square Enix channel, with all their music. Well, asterisks.
The
A lot of them.
majority of them.
Is there Kingdom
So
Hearts
much.
music on here? I'm curious.
I don't know.
Kingdom
I don't
Hearts.
think so. I don't know if
Oh,
Square Enix
Kingdom
owns
Hearts.
it.
No, that's the problem. Kingdom Hearts music is the copyright on that is it's
Yeah, 'cause a lot
not
of it's-
great.
Disney.
Yeah.
The Kingdom Hearts music is on Spotify though, so that
Yeah.
it might get uploaded at some
At
point.
some point.
Possibly not on this channel.
It
It's
might
got
take
some
some
other use, like
negotiation before they can do that.
Default.
Yeah.
And Octopath and Neo the World Ends With You and that rubbish Balan Wonderwood game that was
Balan
How
Wonderland.
dare you leave
Oh,
Balan
okay.
Wonderland alone? Made by masterful Sega person who made Sonic.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember his name, but it's the Sonic guy.
Yuji
Yeah.
Apparently
Naka?
the
Yeah,
control
Yuji
scheme
Naka.
was made by a man who only has a thumb.
What's wrong with having a single thumb player game, huh? You gotta try to show off all your thumbs, huh?
Okay. All right. Moving on from that. There were some DDoS attacks on March 9th on the North American server specifically. That has since been resolved. But it was a pretty... I keep hearing a buzzing sound.
I was wondering what that buzzing noise is.
Is
Is
it
it-
me
is it
again?
you? I
Hold
don't
on,
know.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
mute
my
right now,
compressor
just
is
tell me.
going off on your channel, Rollo, so I think it is you. It
I
stopped.
don't know what it is.
Do you have something
Uh,
touching your mic? Like it's like
Every
a
time you
hum.
talk, it's fine, but when you stop talking,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a
you know
it's
what?
not
Give,
now.
give me a moment. I'll try
Okay,
to fix
all
it
right.
now.
Alright.
I'll just keep going. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just read the post that was posted on March 9th. We're currently experiencing technical difficulties due to a DDoS attack. Players may experience the following issues as a result. We are investigating the attack and taking countermeasures. Additional information will be provided as the situation develops. It lasted for was it a few hours before it was over? It did go on for a while. But yeah, the European servers didn't go down like the same way.
It was
NA
only the
did.
North American servers.
Yeah. But yeah, it was resolved. I don't know. People that do DDoS attacks against video games, like, what is the point? Like, what? Why are you doing that?
And they're angry.
About what?
I
I don't know.
Nikhil, I'm going to assume this is a geopolitical reason that this is happening.
For
and
14.
They might be angry that they cannot play the game right now.
I don't know. That sounds very sketchy to me. But all right, well, okay. I don't know if that would be.
It's any DDoS attack is sketchy.
I feel like
for
you'd
the most
have
part.
other things to do if it was that reason.
Well, yeah.
Better.
Oh, that does sound better. Yes,
just
I can't.
sounds better.
I
That
can't
does
hear
sound
anything now.
Okay.
Okay. Whatever the reason is, it was resolved. Right. Next. Well, it seems Sastasha has been revived in Stranger of Paradise, which we played yesterday, and we got to this actual dungeon.
It's only the second dungeon in the game.
It is. Yeah, it's Sastasha, but I mean, it's Sastasha visually, but it's not actually the dungeon.
They call it something else, but I can't remember what it was called. I'm trying to find that information.
Yeah.
Why? Like,
of all the dungeons, they chose Sastasha.
What? All right, guys, we need to put a game or some dungeons areas from different games across Final Fantasy. What you got for 14? Most iconic dungeon ever.
Yeah,
Sastasha.
the Provoker Secret. Thank you.
Yeah.
Or the Provoker Secret. One of them.
Yeah.
I suspect they picked Sastasha
Really?
because they could.
What? What was that
That's
exclamation,
cool,
Mela?
Provoker was a town in FF1, so that's
Oh.
I think, that's why I think they chose Sastasha, because they could implement it into this point in the story's lore.
The one thing that I was worried about with adding like an homage to every Final Fantasy game was that it would just be weird and theme parkish. But if they're actually trying to push it into like the world of one, that's cool.
Mhm.
I'm behind that.
Yeah.
The first dungeon in Final Fantasy 1 wasn't pirate themed, but you do visit a town that has got pirates, so they sort of extended it for the purposes of Stranger of Paradise.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There is
I
a
like
weird
it.
mention of it being like from the 14th dimension, though. So it is.
Yes. There is some lore about these things coming from different dimensions, but it's not 100% clear, and the story of the game is so absurd that I don't know if we'll know.
Isn't it good? It's great. It's the best PS2 game ever.
You
think
know what,
it's
Rollo?
funny.
It is so bad that it's good. Like, it's like...
See?
Yeah, I love it. So, yeah.
I really want to play it.
Yeah,
It's
it is fun.
Bizarre.
That's bullshit. Plays rap music and he's
Yes! It's so stupid.
Fuck this game. Let's play Babylon's Fall. That's the real shit.
Oh,
God, Babylon's Fall looks so bad.
unfortunate.
Really bad.
I
Wait,
cannot believe it. Yeah.
Did they ever mention the armor thing? I think.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what it was.
When they were using like 14 armor. Yeah.
That's
it's-
not bad at all or anything. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah. Well, is it out now? I think it is,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good, very bad.
They should not have
It's-
released that game in this state.
I'm holding my tongue on this one. You know what? I'm gonna try it out because I actually kind of like the beta. It was like okay.
They have tried to go for an art style in that game, and unfortunately, the art style is bad graphics. And I did.
They really tried to make it painterly.
Yeah.
I think
It's
it was
not painterly.
better in the beta, and then they made it worse.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
It was weird.
So sad because when they first teased Babylon's Fall, it looked like it was going to be this grand game.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was excited.
And then.
I mean, originally it was just the name.
Yeah.
And like a year of silence.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Bam! Live service game.
Yes.
Let's go."
Yes.
By a company or a developer that doesn't make live service games.
No. Yeah.
Well, apparently it was Platinum Games that were interested in making it a live service game.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to experiment with Babylon's Fall.
Yeah.
It's
Big
an
mistake.
experiment, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's going to pay off, but
Yeah. No.
Oh well, at least you can buy in-game currency for it as well.
Good. That's good.
That's the most
That's
important
the
part.
mark of a good game,
Yeah.
aren't there?
And that's good.
I have to say, I don't even know if Babylon's Fall is the most insidious game that Square Enix has released in the last 2 weeks.
No! Have you seen some of their gacha games?
Let's talk about... I know this is more of a post-show, but fuck it. Chocobo GP.
Yeah, see?
How? Okay, I just need to... For those that don't know, I just need to say this. There are 2 versions of this fucking game as of right now. There's a light version, which is free, and then there's a premium version, which is £40. The free version comes with... I don't know how many characters you get. Let's say 5. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant because of what I'm about to say. The premium version, which is 40, has microtransactions, a store, and its own extra purchasable currency, and they slap you over the face with it when you start the game for the first time. They literally are like, oh, hey, you bought this game? Well, cool, pay more because you need to unlock Cloud. You want Cloud, don't you? Well, you need to buy our season pass. What the fuck?
The absurd thing is, you are paying for the privilege of paying more money.
Yes.
Don't
Yeah,
you
you
love
can't buy it on the free version.
Why isn't that...
No!
Yeah, that's important. That store is not in the free version. What? What the fuck? That should be switched.
I fully believe that when it comes to Square Enix's like gacha games or whatever, or mobile division, maybe it's 2 studios or just 2 dudes specifically. They're like, all right, I'm gonna make the really bad one.
Yeah.
Like just the dog shit, most money grubbing thing ever. Okay, I'm gonna make the one that's actually kind of decent, but doesn't make any money.
Yes. What the hell? I am so confused by this.
Well, it's also like, I feel like they squeeze as much money as they can at launch.
Yeah.
And then I don't give a fuck about this. We'll close this in the year.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
I think it's what happened to Brave
Brave
Record
Exvius?
Keeper? Isn't it Record Keeper?
Oh,
That
yeah,
was the
Record
really, really
Keeper.
bad one.
Yes.
Record Keeper's still going.
It's still going, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it should. But, like Brave's Exvius is one of
still
the good
going.
ones.
Yeah.
I like Record Keeper as a concept, but it had too many loading screens that I got
Oh
bored.
my goodness. Yeah.
You know what? Fuck all that shit. Let's play the first soldier or whatever. Come on.
Oh,
You can
No.
you can get the scorpion in the season pass as a character. Just the fucking
I agree
scorpion
with you,
with a tail.
But I will say there's about the Chocobo GP that one's probably hopefully going to change, because apparently a lot of people are asking for refunds because I would do that too. You're paying 40. I mean, I'd get it if it was like
was advertised.
it's. I don't know if. Oh god, I wish I had a
People
visual.
pre-ordered the game and they didn't say this was going to happen.
I know, and when you get to the main menu, it looks like a free-to-play gacha game. It has the the purchasable currency at the top of the main menu.
Either they just like switched it and forgot. They're like, oh,
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. That someone just really fucked up here, but I don't. Otherwise, it's
No, 'cause that
insidious
would
as
imply
fuck. I
that
don't understand.
The paid one only has 5 characters.
Yep. That would be funny. That would also be funny. $40, no cash shop, 5 drivers, and in the free one you can purchase 20 drivers. No, this is it's fucked. It's fucked. Anyways, that was our little tangent on horrible Square Enix games. Let's move on to
Stranger Paradise is not a horrible Square Enix game.
not a horrible Square Enix game. That's important. It's
the best PS2 game known to man.
What I love about Stranger of Paradise so far is that they were like, should we go like serious here or should we just fuck it? And they went for fuck it.
Yeah.
And they're just going, yeah, they're just it's great.
That's good. You know what? They should. Also, it just plays like Neo, so
Yeah.
Neo's good.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Honestly, the impression I've gotten so far from watching Likiel is that, like, world-wise, it is well to Final Fantasy, but, like, edgy.
Yes. Yes. For adults. It's like the adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is your dad's
Well,
Final
Rollo,
Fantasy.
without spoiling anything, they tell you, like, the moment you start the game, that this is not a normal Final Fantasy game. It's crazy.
That's
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah,
The opening scene is...
Yeah, it's wild. So,
Yeah.
highly
Continue
recommend
that.
Stranger of Paradise. All right. Out on Friday. This Friday. All right.
Tuesday.
Sorry, no, it's Tuesday. They moved it, didn't they? Yeah, it's Tuesday.
But we'll be playing it
We'll
on
be
Friday.
playing it on Friday. Yes.
Tune
All
in.
right. It's time for MogMail, I guess. Speakersvideo.com/MogMail. Unfortunately, we don't have the MogMail on screen. I just realized that's the thing I should have had. So I'll just read them. This is from Moonbunny-chan from Balmong. MSQ Roulette. From the previous live letter, I thought that the rework was much further off, like part of the long-term goals heading into the next expansion rather than seemingly next patch. I know a lot are rejoicing in the death of its current form, but not gonna lie, I'm gonna miss it. It was nice having something I could breeze through for a lot of EXP, and I know this sounds bad, but it was great for leveling classes I don't really like and will never play again until the next expansion after capping. It's also going to be weird to lose since I've been running those dungeons as is since A Realm Reborn. I remember those being the endgame dungeons you'd run for tomes. Having them be different now is going to feel so strange. Also, I know it's strangely specific, but I liked getting to see the other people in my party in the cutscenes. Nothing else in the game really does that, aside from showing people briefly entering a dungeon or summoned into a trial. Any predictions for how they're going to be now? I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around how they'd cut the cutscenes while keeping the story. I, for one, hope they at least find a way to keep in such devastation. That's actually a good point about the people in the cutscenes. It is perhaps one of the few times where, maybe the only time, where an MSQ cutscene has party members in it.
True. I agree with all the points as
yeah.
well. I'll miss it.
Yeah.
It's just intro or cutscenes to bosses and or trials that usually happen.
Yeah. So that
or other dungeons or whatever. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be weird. I don't think it's going to be a thing that we're going to reminisce about a lot after it's gone. I just know on this show, I'm going to keep bringing up. Oh, remember we had to do Praetorium 8, man? Oh, those were the days.
You guys have it too good.
Yeah. I don't know how they're gonna.
Oh, actually, you know what?
Yeah?
Here's a thing that incorporates other characters in cutscenes.
Okay.
The fishing voyages they have really intricate background cutscenes for every player character.
That's true. That's true.
I hope they do that again. That's cute.
Yeah, I do like it when they it's more immersive. Yeah.
It's not MSQ.
It's not MSQ.
It's not MSQ,
but it's a cutscene.
That was really out there.
Yeah.
Like, what are the MSQ? Oh, I know, the fishing voyage.
Well, I mean, it's
I never
Where'd that
said
come from?
it animates characters in ways, you know,
Right,
and
yeah,
they're
true.
actually the
Puts
people
them all
on
in
the boat.
poses and stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of hope one day maybe we get because you know how, like when you're in a party and you're viewing cutscenes within your own house, like it places whoever's in your party into that cutscene if you're rewatching it.
Oh yeah.
At least for whatever cutscene can have other players in it or whatever.
Yeah.
I wonder, or I hope that maybe in the future we can get that going in like an MSQ kind of thing, like in the overworld cutscenes. They don't have to be involved, but it'd be nice, like if you're, questing with your buds.
Yeah.
They're just there in the background, maybe playing cards. Who knows?
That's something I wish we had, like a quest link system where we could do quests together.
You know what game has that?
What?
The best game ever. BioWare's The Old Republic.
Well, there you go.
But to be fair, that's their big gimmick.
Yeah.
That's their thing.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't know how easily they could implement that.
That's the problem, isn't it? Yeah, because it's very much...
I mean, just imagine your friends in the background playing cards while you're
looking
through Ultima Thule.
I want them just doing dumb shit in the background, like,
Yeah.
They're my entourage.
That would be a way...
Would be cool.
It would be a way to, like, bake in Path Companion in a, like, very... not in a real sense. They won't actually... I mean, the party member won't actually be referred to, or like they won't talk to them, but they'll be there. You can be like, "Oh, it's my pet companion." I don't think they're gonna make big cuts in the MSQ. I don't think Gaius' speech is gonna get cut. It'll just play at the end of the trial or the dungeon, or at the end of the dungeon, I would assume. But I don't see them making any changes to that.
Yeah, you'll still get the full experience, if not a better experience, if you're just doing it for cutscenes in MSQ,
right?
Before, or than we did before.
They said that they're shrinking it down to 4 players, but I don't know if they said that they're going to make the cutscenes skippable or remove them. They might still have the cutscenes in exactly the same places.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, so there you go. Thank you, Moonbunny-chan. Last MogMail that we have here is from Windows Sapphire Solera.
Oh my god.
While playing through MSQ again on an alt, I realized there is a section in Elpis called the 12 Wonders. It's where they control the elements in order to balance the weather and climates of Elpis. Do you think the 12 Wonders, and in turn the 12 elements separated by their umbral and astral forms, is related to the 12 at all? While each of the 12 is related to an element, could it be that the myth was created as a way to better understand the elements rather than actual entities/gods? Love you guys. Thank you, Win. Well...
Interesting thought.
It's something that we didn't bring up when we talked about the 12 last time, but it's definitely interesting that it's called the 12 Wonders.
And the question for you then, Win, is who's made the myth though? Was it the ancients who made the myth, or us? Because we've seen that we're getting a location which looks to be the spire, the lightning spire from their heaven.
Yeah.
Is that within the context of the ancients and Elpis, or is that within the context of us?
Yeah, well, it depends on, like, let's say that they were the people that worked in the 12 Wonders. Let's say, who are we expecting to see? And is it Byragot and
Ramu? Ralga.
Ralgar.
To be fair, Ramu is Ralga.
Yeah, they're in charge of the lightning wonder or whatever it's called. They come to our world and they build this tower, and that's where they control that element. And then the stupid Hydaelinians, the Sundered, are like, oh, what this? And they're like, oh, we're just controlling, this element. Gods. And they start praying, and oh god, the big gods, and there you go, and that's how the myth is born. Oh, well, possibly.
I definitely can see the 12 Wonders being involved in the 12 raid.
Yeah.
Question is, where does Azim come into this?
That's a good point.
Because as we know Azim's job, he is a wanderer. He does not really have responsibilities, or he or she. They don't really have responsibilities in the sense of, like, this is their job. Their job is to resolve disputes throughout the land.
Well, are you talking about Azem?
Yeah, Azem, sorry.
Well, we don't know if the Azem is related to the 12 at all, do we?
We don't, but there is one 12 who is a wanderer.
I mean, that...
No.
I've been kind of thinking about this, but you know how, like, we say, we're Azem? And we are Azem. The seats, right? At least before everything went to shit. Yeah. But how do we know, like, it's not just Hydaelin's seat that they're always referring to when we say, like, oh, the seat of Azem is just... Or in these other references we're getting, like, especially in the Mongol land. Why am I Azim Steppe?
Yeah.
Azim Steppe. They have their version of Azem and all that, and we keep assuming that it's related to us. But I mean, Vinal was Azem too.
Well, that is true.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, there's a lot we don't know. We have assumed a lot without actually having any confirmation. So
we're a fragment of the we can't really call it current Azem, but the one who was in place.
The last Azem.
The last Azem.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vinal was in the seat before.
They make it sound like it's fairly recent too that we came to that seat, because we got there, or Azem got there after Hades, right? Or after Emet-Selch, I think is what they say.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think so.
I believe so. Yeah.
So a lot of Azem's the seat of Azem's achievements could be more related to Hydaelin's doing than our own.
That's true.
Well, that's the trouble with that, though. If we're bringing Azem into it, is that doesn't relate to the 12 Wonders at all, really.
I'm starting to think that Azem has nothing to do with the 12. I feel like that's completely separate. That these are there's something else that we haven't learned of yet.
You think when Urianger brought that up, like in like a side dialogue in the the Rising Stones, you think that was you thought that was
it was a theory
distraction?
Yeah, it might have been because they probably knew that we were theorizing about it.
But Urianger couldn't have made that connection and made an assumption because of the similarity in names and all that. But he could be wrong.
Well, we obviously have to talk about Azema. The problem I have with it is that it ties us down to one specific god, one specific element. It's kind of weird if Azem is Azema.
It is weird.
Because that just makes us...
Well, I don't think the gods are necessarily us. I think they're inspired by one aspect of us. That doesn't necessarily mean that Azema was Azem.
So who was Azema?
That's
not a real person.
So you don't think they were real at all? They weren't anything?
It's very possible. I'm not... That's a theory. I don't know if that's necessarily true.
That's okay.
In this theory, I am suspecting they might not have been real. They were, as Mailer said, they could have been inspired by this god machine that controls like the elements that they don't understand.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like a long game of telephone just being distorted into from actual concept to God.
Yeah, because that I believe. That I definitely believe. That's why I think the symbol on the tower is at the original like seal or symbol for them. Yeah. And then over time that just became what we have now in the pantheon of the 12.
I mean, we've seen that happen already anyway with the Ixal.
Yes, true. Yeah.
They were like Garuda was just some woman.
Yeah.
And now what a woman.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see how the Azem like soul crystal evolved into the Azema symbol.
Yeah.
Because they're going to need to explain why if the 12 are related to the ancients, they're going to need to explain why Menfina's symbol looks like that.
Well, I've been thinking about that. I think this has given them a way to retcon the whole symbol, because Menfina has the Dalamud, the lesser moon around it, which dates from before like the Allegans even built it. But I think they're going to retcon it into saying that the Allegans
repurposed it.
Yeah, they added it themselves so that it became that way. Now they have like a way of like, oh yeah, but history is constantly changing. So
the Allegan canon isn't what I believe in.
Right.
It's a different one.
Right. But it's still weird though that they were like, well, we have sent up our own little moon. Now let's change this ancient symbol to include our moon as well. Very odd.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it could have been an ass. Like it could, because it was them itself that was involved.
True.
In the Allegans, so you could have been like, wouldn't it be funny?
Yeah.
Like if they just...
Yeah. Wouldn't it be funny? Okay.
That's an aside that's related that I never noticed before, but in the art book, because the Aram Reborn ones were reprinted, in the Sanctum of the 12, where it has all the symbols of the gods, they have one of them's in gold and one of them's in silver to represent Astral and Umbral, which I'd never noticed in game.
Oh, I've never
But that's apparently what it was in the concept art. That's what they pointed out. So that was cool.
That's interesting. Huh.
But I've never seen it in game, so I might have, if anyone's seen that, go look at the pictures around the sides.
Wow. All right. Okay, well that's that. We'll see how. I'm very excited to learn more about this. It's so close now. Yeah.
Probably a month away.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Wen. Thank you to people who've sent in MogMail. Send in MogMail at speakerssav.com/MogMail. We need MogMail, so do send in. That's it for MogMail. Now we need to jump into the main story, which is, of course, an interview with Yoshi-P.
Christ.
So it's also featuring Ishikawa, of course.
This is actually an interview from a couple of weeks ago that we didn't have time for back then.
Yeah.
It's the same wine.
Sure.
Yes.
It's the same wine, yes.
It is. Breaking down the twists of Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker with Naoki Yoshida and Natsuko Ishikawa. The creative team behind Final Fantasy XIV talk Garlemald, Emmett Selk, and what's next for the MMO. So, Natsuko Ishikawa and Naoki Yoshida had a monumental task, wrapping up development of a decade-long story in Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, the climactic expansion to the Hydaelyn and Zodiark plot arc. See, they solved it. They solved that issue by adding... Yeah. Now, several story patches and a whopping great expansion later, Ishikawa and Yoshida have, by all accounts, stuck the landing. Getting to Endwalker has been a long road though. Square Enix debuted the Shadowbringers expansion in 2019, a story which is still widely seen as the high point of Final Fantasy XIV's expansive saga. I don't think I was consciously feeling any pressure about living up to Shadowbringers, says Ishikawa, who penned the stories of both Shadowbringers and Endwalker. It turns out Ishikawa is just like the rest of us, telling ourselves our work isn't good enough no matter how much praise is heaped upon it. Ishikawa views the end result of her work as far from perfect, but does not admit that in any scenario, making Final Fantasy XIV's finale a fitting conclusion was always going to be tough to achieve. After 11 years of story development, it's easy to see why Ishikawa was feeling a little pressure going into Endwalker, but the writer says she nonetheless enjoyed working on the concluding chapter, as it's not often one gets the chance to write the ending to such a long-running saga. That would stress me the frick out.
Yeah. Why did you censor yourself?
It's the new me. It's the new me. It's the new me.
Okay.
Yeah. So doing ending, it's because she isn't the only one who's been writing the story, and also this is a story that was started by a whole other team as well originally, so a lot of pressure.
Who ended their decade-long storyline better, Final Fantasy or Warcraft?
Oh, it was a storyline in Warcraft. Didn't it just burn down some tree and some lady turned evil?
No, but then it turned out it was always a man that had just been introduced.
Yes.
Oh, so Meteon?
It was Meteon, yeah. It's kind of similar, isn't
in
it?
In fairness, every game that has such a long storyline has to have a pop-up, otherwise it doesn't.
Mysterion?
Yeah. Well, see, the
South Park.
The thing with the pop-up like villain at the end is kind of something you have to, like Mela said, you have to, because the story is so long, like 10 years. It's like how you
can't be someone who was introduced originally, right? Because you'll have had 10 years ago. We knew.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you have been happier, Mela, if Xenos was the final boss?
No.
Yeah, in fact, I'd be really angry.
How angry would you have been if Xenos was the one that took Zodiac's body and then that was the final boss?
I would be so pissed.
I'd have just laughed.
Yeah. Isn't this what's happened with Game of Thrones too?
Don't even remind me of Game of Thrones. I get so angry just being reminded of that.
Listen, that's your fault for falling for a bad story.
Oh, but it was so good.
I knew. I could see the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
More of Rollo's hipster takes that early Game of Thrones was bad.
Yeah, that thing you like, it was always bad.
It was never.
It wasn't bad.
Okay. I am not going there.
We're also bad.
Short on time as it is. We're not doing this. I'm gonna leave you hanging on that. You can defend yourself in the comments. All right. The latest expansion, Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, had it all. Characters switching bodies, a new tribe of adorable denizens in the Loperates, a threat that could wipe out all existence in the known universe, and gloomy war stories which would rival Isao Takahata's Grave of the Fireflies in morbidity.
It wasn't as bad as Grave of the Fireflies.
Nothing. Very little.
That's such a
yeah. What a comparison. Grave of the Fireflies in morbidity. In the Garlemald section of the story. Sorry, Roland, what?
Kind of tied to like a real world event, so I think it's a bit hard to...
Well, also true. But even if it wasn't, that is just horrendous.
Yeah. The Garlemald...
You not like it?
No, I love it, but it's just,
okay. Sorry.
Really sad. Like, it's really depressing.
Yeah.
It makes you feel horrendously.
It's hard to watch.
Yeah. The Garlemald segment, with its bombed-out streets and lifeless populace, was horrifying. It was one of the most difficult scenarios to write in Endwalker, says director Yoshida, adding that it was necessary to portray the lives of everyday Garleans because we had never met any of them in our 11 years playing Final Fantasy XIV. Yoshida reckons players imagine huge war machines and stoic generals when they think of Garlemald, so flipping the script to show the lives of ordinary citizens instead was paramount. For Ishikawa, Garlemald drew inspiration from war documentaries. While we hope the problem...
me.
Yeah, this... Odd to be
That's
reading
why
this
she
right
has-
now, but yeah.
That's why she has that 1,000-yard stare all the time. She's watched so many.
She's been watching a lot. While we hope the problems will be solved, we won't always be able to see that resolution at the end of the program. Ishikawa says, adding that she deliberately made sure all the narrative pieces didn't fit together so the player would be left pondering the situation. Ishikawa wanted Garlemald to show players the magnitude of the war-torn problem and leave them open to questioning what they would actually do about the situation.
That's fair. I think for the most part, the Garlemald questline did feel kind of like we weren't able to solve this. We weren't able to help. Like maybe ended a bit weird.
Sometimes you just can't, you know?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah. Georgi?
You can't save everyone.
It's a difficult topic to talk
Yeah,
about.
I just
Well, yeah,
realized
I
that this hits different now.
There's a lot of real world
Yeah,
know,
it's little
comparisons.
yeah.
Current and also
Hitting a
not
little
current.
too close to home this time. I posed that very question to Alphino and the other characters by daring to write about the conflict just how it was, with things not proceeding the way the group of heroes wanted, Ishikawa says. As such, the writer was able to construct a plotline through Garlemald that challenged our heroes to proceed while suffering and agonizing over setbacks, which is the hope through strength that Heidelin discovered to ward off destruction of the universe. No pressure then. Near the conclusion.
Please, Heidelin.
Near the conclusion of the Garlemald section of Endwalker, things got weird. Our warrior of light temporarily switched bodies with a common Garlemald soldier and was promptly kidnapped by Fandaniel for a dinner party with arch-villain Xenos. That's a wacky
favorite scene.
It's a good scene. That's that's up there in like one of my favorite cutscenes from Endwalker.
Oh, absolutely. They're so devilish about it too.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it, but they have that scene where it's like, oh, look, you're coming back, and then it's playing the nice music. You're like, no,
Yeah.
that's not me.
Right, yeah. It was good. I kind of wish they did more with that. Like, as good as that cutscene was and like what happened, like what followed, it felt like they were like, oh, that's a cool visual, and then they never did it again. Because
quickly resolved.
It instilled this like fear. It's like, oh my god, if he can do that with me, like that's fucked. But then they didn't do
just
anything.
came along and was like, well, time's up.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a bit weird, but it was a cool moment. That's a wacky plot twist, and Yoshida teases that he adjusted the original scene from Ishikawa. But for Ishikawa, it's much more simple. Xenos wanted to do it because it was interesting to him, nothing more, nothing less. In fact, Ishikawa thinks we're a bit quick to judge Xenos by his domineering appearance, a glowering sneer, and bloody scythe the size of a human. It's that Xenos is willing to go through whatever trial and error it takes in order to achieve his goals that separates him from the player character, Ishikawa believes. Yes, Xenos does think about only himself, and that can have dire consequences for those around him. But it's his drive to do whatever he believes is necessary to achieve his goals that truly separates him from anything we are able to do as players.
If only his goals were interesting.
Yeah.
His goals is to just chill out and have fun, you know?
Yeah.
But also, I mean, he did. There is that literal scene where he's like, all right, well, even if I had good reasons, would you fucking care?
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
He's talking to
but
you,
like-
Georgie.
I don't mind his goal. I just think that
it's not
he
a
doesn't
great
have
goal.
many.
Yeah. Xenos has been a threat to players for years. The villain's story was wrapped up in Endwalker, just like the Heidelin and Zodiark. God damn it, you already had a solution to this. Why are you doing this? The Heidelin and Zodiark arc. And both Yoshida and Ishikawa are very happy with the end result. His story needed no further embellishment, nor any further happiness or misery, says Ishikawa, adding that because Xenos wasn't concerned with how others saw him, she had no hesitation in writing out the closure of his story. Yoshida, on the other hand, says Xenos was the only one who saw the Warrior of Light as a simple adventurer again, joking that when the villains asks, did you find fulfillment, that doubles as a question from the development team to the player.
Yeah, that was actually a survey monkey, that last question.
Yeah.
To help them with that right.
I hope it was. I hope they do something with that and they make fun of you for it.
Get to answer that question though.
Yeah, you do.
Do you? Oh yeah, you do actually.
Yeah, because he asked you, he's like, oh, so, or don't you just want to be a fun adventure and fucking fight me? Come on, just accept it.
Yeah. Partway through Endwalker, a familiar face appears, Emmett Silk. The immensely popular villain of Shadowbringers returns to interact with players and significantly shake up Endwalker's story. Yoshida immediately shoots down the possibility of Emmett Silk having been resurrected in Endwalker because of his popularity, outlining that it was because the villain was originally conceived as taking on another stage in post-Shadowbringers patches that he naturally became attached to Endwalker. Yeah, this is a thing that I hope... Do you think they will be tempted to bring Emmett Silk back again at some point?
Nah, well, maybe tempted, but I don't think they should.
I hope they don't.
I mean, he's technically not dead in one specific area that we can go to, and that we currently have more story associated with.
Didn't they return? Didn't they return to the live stream after that?
No, I mean in Elpis.
Oh yeah. But in in
no memory there.
Yeah.
Well, he's no memory of us.
He doesn't, but that doesn't mean he can't.
Well, true.
You know, something can't happen. You know.
So he's technically still in the picture, I guess. Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
I hope.
I hope they don't. But
I hope
unless
they
they have a really good reason.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to involve us in Elpis again because he can see the color of our soul. We'd be going through the exact same steps that we did when we first arrived at Elpis.
Yeah.
Well, this time we just say no. That's not me.
Yeah.
That doesn't stop. We said no the first time. The only reason we revealed it is because Vinar was there.
Just say no again.
Okay. Moving on. While the throws in outlining those Endwalker beats, Final Fantasy XIV's development team were still considering whether or not to include the Hydaelyn and Zodiac story. Good. Then, unannounced 6.0 update. As such, we hadn't decided exactly how we were going to present the episode about the Ancients, says Ishikawa, adding that this is what led to her suggesting even, that Emmett Silk be returned to the Ethereal Sea in patch 5.3. To make matters...
sounds pretty definitive.
Yeah. To make matters more complicated, Yoshida dictated that Emmett Silk would narrate Endwalker's opening movie as a disembodied voice. In response, Ishikawa decided she'd go all out, writing Emmett Silk's part of Endwalker, and the villain's triumphant return in the Elpis section was born, as the expansion's content was fully outlined by the development team. Emmett Silk wasn't the actual antagonist at Endwalker, though. That honor belongs to Meteion. Or does it? Ishikawa strongly disputes Meteion being an actual antagonist, hypothesizing even. That was literally what was happening in my brain. That the alien life forms that filled her with despair might be the real bad guys here.
Oh, shut up.
Society is at fault.
Aliens. This story will puzzle those who are trying to...
aliens all along.
This story will puzzle those who are trying to find an enemy or evil, the writer says, pointing to the various enemies and bosses you encounter as the only clear enemies throughout Endwalker.
I don't know if I agree.
No, I don't know if I agree either. I don't think I would have claimed that the people out in space to be the true villains of the story. I would have said it was what's his name? Fandaniel.
Yeah. Are you saying that we have to blame all those planets and civilizations that were in despair, like they were dying? It's their fault?
Absolutely.
Sad people.
Their fucking world was dying. They were miserable.
If you're sad, that's your fault.
Yeah,
don't send those
that's
bad
not a
vibes to
great
me.
message.
Weird.
I thought it would be better to finish off each Scion in a way that the player can't see, Ishikawa adds. The writer wanted players to believe and continue forward with the hope...
Skipped a
sorry. Having the Scions give their lives in the struggle against Meteion in Ultima Thule was breathtaking, and that's exactly the way Ishikawa wanted it. I didn't want the battle against the despair of the stars in Ultima Thule to be a contest of who's got the better way with words, she says, adding that the Scions all expressed despair when descending from the Ragnarok, but these words were only a small part of their story. I thought it would be better to finish off each Scion in a way that the player can't see, Ishikawa adds. The writer wanted players to believe and continue forward, with the hope that the Scions would eventually reappear. It's those who forged ahead and believed, Ishikawa says, that were treated to experience the ending with the Scions returning.
I kind of went forward with the hope that the Scions wouldn't appear.
You wanted them to be dead?
Not like I didn't want them all to disappear, but I wanted it to be more impactful.
Well,
to sacrifice yourself for the greater good here in this horrible world at the end.
I
of the
genuinely thought maybe Thancred had died.
Exactly. Yeah, same.
So that was kind of sad after that.
Death, though.
It was a weird off, but I'm like, that the more you think about it, the less it makes sense. But right then, because I'd already, I mean, went in there with the death flags everywhere, so I thought someone's gonna die here.
But by the time Estinien does his thing, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that's the problem, because when the others start going, I'm like, there's no way.
Exactly.
So yeah.
But there is still that little thing, like, but I still want them to come back.
And but then even then when they were all dying, I'm like, maybe not all of them comes back. Like maybe Thancred's been gone for too long. But yeah. No, it wasn't quite. It didn't. The stakes didn't feel that high when I was there. Unfortunately,
I think if they started with like Y'shtola and Urianger, characters that we've had for the longest period of time, I think it would have been more believable.
Yeah, true.
I think choosing to have Estinien go second makes it much more difficult to believe.
Yeah, because Thancred was a good start, because we talked about it before the expansion came out, that his storyline was done. Like, it felt like he had nothing left after that, so it would be okay to like cut him loose. But Estinien had just previously seemed to start a new storyline or something. So yeah,
you can tell Thancred's story was done by the fact that his direction at the end of this expansion isn't really going anywhere.
Just wandering around
with Urianger.
Yeah,
so they're both not going anywhere.
Okay, Final Fantasy XIV's arc concluded in Update 6.0, but that wasn't always the case. Yoshida acknowledges that they could have very easily stretched out the plot into Update 7.0, or even 8.0.
7.0 would have been acceptable.
Yeah.
And probably better overall.
But it would not have been...
8.0 is too much.
Yeah, that was probably stretching it too far. But would not have been able to create the impact and release of emotions that Endwalker did. I disagree. I think splitting it over two expansions would have been better, because it really does feel like there's two expansions crammed into one.
It's very, very rushed in places.
Yeah. Alas, this is what we got. As for the future of Final Fantasy XIV, there's plenty left to explore. There are still plenty of adventures to be had in Aetheris, says Yoshida, adding with a chuckle that with the power of Dynamis, the adventure never ends. Ishikawa has quite the teaser for the future. Is there still more to explore, you ask? Now, didn't Emmett Selk mention something about that?
That's not a teaser, because he literally mentions everything.
Yeah.
He does. He just looks at you in the eyes like, oh, what all the adventures you'll have.
Yeah.
I don't think this is what Yoshi-P means when he says with the power of Dynamis, but the idea of it just makes it seem like, because of how Dynamis works, essentially you could explore forever. They could just make places up.
That is true.
Yeah.
It could be like Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, please!
Got all these Disney worlds.
I understand that they think it's cool to make their own like new things, but please, we have so much existing stuff that we need to explore.
I disagree with you. Mericidia and the New World are boring. Toy Story Land?
No.
They could be Australian or American down there. Do you really want to go there?
No, that's true.
Well,
that's
imagine
true.
that. Imagine if the Americans are in Mericidia and the Australians are in the New World.
Now that would be a twist.
See, there you go. That's a good plot twist.
Yeah, there's
challenge your own expectations.
I mean,
see how you feel, Georgie, when it's good day, mates. Welcome to Mericidia.
Could you imagine?
Oh my god,
this Australian accent in this game.
Oh my god, that'd be interesting.
That's
one of the main. Could you go sort of out?
That's one of the main reasons I want Mericidia to be Australian. I just want to hear all these stupid Australian accents.
Yeah.
from new characters.
Yeah, and it's all gonna be British people trying to sound Australian, so you'll like the varying degrees.
Australians in Britain.
Yeah, but I hope they don't. I hope it's all just British actors like they usually do.
That would still be better than the Americans trying to do a British accent.
That's true from Realm Reborn. Yeah.
It was so how dare you? We made the
interesting.
greatest British people ever.
Yeah.
You were awful. Oh my god.
From an American, we make the best British people ever. Yeah, there you go. You heard it here, folks.
Yeah, I'm doubling down on that one too.
Yeah, go on.
Something this interview makes me wonder, and it's not something I had really thought about before. Considering how often Final Fantasy games take elements from previous games, do you think Dynamis is going to be a concept that will appear in future Final Fantasy games?
In future Final Fantasy games? That's interesting.
I don't think Dynamis has the same pull as Materia, which would be,
Possibly
I guess,
not.
an equivalent kind of mechanic or concept. Maybe if it keeps going on in the story, and then they like make it a bigger thing, like Dynamis is a core part of 14 systems.
I need to mention that Dynamis is a thing in 11. So it's
a location on 11 though.
Yeah, but it's still a thing within the. I think the name Dynamis is already been reused in 14 as a concept. So
they don't tend to pull things out of the MMOs into the single players though. Like a lot of the things that are reused in 14 are from 11.
Well, that's because 14 and 11 were supposed to be sort of the same thing.
Well, that's also true.
It's just
but like
how it was made.
Like, do you think we'll get Gubus in 16? I mean, I hope so.
I mean,
but
yeah,
it
I mean,
feels
we
like
have.
they don't grab things from the MMOs much.
Well, we haven't had the chance to like see that yet because
12, 13, and 15.
Well,
15 had a ton of stuff.
Mela, 13 had 1.0 to go off of. There was no way anything was going to get lifted out of that game.
Though, and 11.
I mean, they did give Lightning the armpit Mikote outfit, so
that's true. I don't know. 11 is kind of different. I don't know what they would take out of 11 because 11 doesn't have a lot of like
locations, names of things.
That I'm sure they have in 13 and possibly even 15, but I'm not on top of all the references. But the thing is, it's the further you get in the game series, the harder it is to make unique things. I'm not surprised if we're going to see Gobus in 16.
Yeah. Or Spriggans.
Spriggans.
Yeah. Yeah, and
there's so many enemies that they could pull from 11 and 14 now that could appear in mainline games.
Yeah.
But the thing about 12 and 15 is, particularly 12, has a really unique aesthetic that is feels different from previous Final Fantasy games.
Yeah.
And 15 as well to a certain extent because of the fact that it's set in this weird modern world.
12 especially, it has that Evilisian filter.
Like Evilise in itself is such a different. It's like its own unique concept.
It's almost
14.
like a game series.
Yeah.
It
it is.
Feels like it shouldn't even be part of Final Fantasy anymore.
It's almost like an honor that it's here's some Evilise for your Final Fantasy franchise.
That is Chad is correct that there is the 14-15 crossover as well.
That's true.
That's true, but
that's directly
slightly
that's like a crossover.
Lore.
Yeah, it's slightly different.
It's not like we're talking about something that's baked into the actual world, from the get go. That this is a Gobu just walking past.
I
just don't think
they've done the Sastasha secret as well.
Yeah, they have. They just haven't had enough games post 14 to really pull from it. I think 16 is going to be where we start really seeing it.
I mean, it makes sense, especially considering
Yoshida,
the producer.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally has a crystal tower.
There's a mother crystal referenced in there, so
16 is just single player. 14, it seems.
Yeah, and it's high fantasy, which we haven't had in a while.
It's gonna be good.
Okay, well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this show. We'll go into the post-show after this if you're watching live. Thank you for watching this episode 290 of Speakers of Heidlen. Remember to send us MogMail at speakersxiv.com/MogMail. Hopefully the website is still up. Sometimes it's not, but just refresh and then it'll be up. Still trying to figure out what the problem with that is. Follow on Twitter at speakersxiv, twitch.tv/speakersofheidelin, youtube.com/speakersxiv, exclamation Discord in chat. If you're watching Discord, if you're watching live, if you're watching on demand, link is in the description. Send us MogMail, speakersxiv.com/MogMail. Stay tuned for the post show if you're watching live. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.